What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. I don't often show my face. I just want to talk about the Superman movie, and I make an exception because I love Superman. He's my favorite superhero, and so this one I had to talk about. I made a video before regarding, how interviewers and the press and all these people trying to instigate things with the movies, perceived political aspects of it and stuff like that. But I was still looking forward to the movie. I went to see it on Friday, which was basically the opening night, and I loved the movie. I thought the movie was pretty awesome aesthetically. The movie, how it looked, the visuals, it was pretty stunning, amazing movie. So I'm gonna go with the good first. I'm gonna mention the good. The way it looked, the movie looked awesome, colorful, bright. Superman looked good. He looked great. Before, in the previous, when they would show still images of Superman, I was hating the suit. I did not like it. Looked flabby. They fixed all of that. And David Corenswet looked great in the suit. He looked great as Superman. He embodied Superman. Good casting choice. I thought he was pretty awesome. I thought he nailed it. No hate towards Henry Cavill. He's still my favorite Superman up to now, but I have no complaints about David Corenswet. I thought that he did an amazing job. He's more optimistic. He's brighter, a little bit more human, if just for a lack of better term. More in touch with people and stuff like that. What else that I can think of? Good stuff. The suit looked good. Lois Lane was casted very well. I think that lady, I forget her name right now, she was amazing. The casting, I have no problem with the casting. I thought the cast did a great job. They did a good job. Everybody was on point. I have no problem. I thought that Lex Luthor, the Hulk actor, he is amazing in the role. He's amazing. He nailed it, bro. He nailed it. Lex Luthor was smart. He was brilliant. He was tactical. He was single-minded. He had a plan. It was Luthor right out of the comics. I was fine with Crypto. Crypto looked amazing. The visuals, the special effects with him, with all the creatures, the giant Caillou, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho was amazing. He was right out of the comics as far as action sequences with Metamorpho. His ability to create elements and do things creatively with his powers, that was on point. People overlook that because they might not appreciate it because they don't know Metamorpho. I know Metamorpho from the comics. The only thing that was slightly off was his personality. Metamorpho is more gung-ho. He's more of a soldier of fortune type of guy in the comic books. But overall, I think that the cast did great. The other superheroes in the movie were good, showing their powers. It was good. I like there's complaints out there that the movie was convoluted, that it felt like there was a movie before it and all that stuff, that there's a lot too much to introduce. I don't think so. I think it was fine for what it is. It's a great summer flick for the family, for everybody. That movie is for everybody. I think James Gunn did the smart thing with the little captions at the beginning of the movie, Star Wars like, explaining the rise of the metahumans, explaining what went on before the timeline when Superman appeared, how he's the most powerful metahuman on the planet, and how he stopped the war, and that Lex Luthor disliked it, and the public had problems with that. Those captions helped a lot, and I think a lot of hateful YouTubers out there, they're willfully ignoring that little caption, that little up-to-date thing that James Gunn did right at the beginning of the movie. Even with the little detail that Superman was actually suffering his first defeat towards a bad guy, and I'm gonna talk spoilers here. It bothered me. It kind of bothered me that Superman was getting beat on this movie a lot. If I have any complaints about that, is that this Superman did not look as resourceful as his past counterparts were. Like Henry Cavill, Brandon Routh, Christopher Reeve. This Superman were very strategic with their powers. Even Henry Cavill, who was getting used to his powers and all that stuff, he was creative with his powers. He knew how to use them. He knew how to put them to effect. David Corenswet's Superman felt a little bit naive. He was getting his ass kicked a little bit too much for my taste, but it made sense that he was actually getting the shit beat out of him by his own counterpart, by another Superman, by himself basically. And Lex Luthor found a way to outmaneuver his physical attacks because of years of studying him and using digital computers, strategic, like treating it like a video game. He treated Superman's attacks, Superman's defense tactics as a video game, so he was always one step ahead. I appreciated that. There's goofiness in the movie, and I'm gonna talk about that in the negatives, but overall I like the movie. That's the good news, man. I like the movie. I think the movie is awesome. From a scale of 1 to 10, I give it an 8. Visually stunning, very entertaining. The humor's fine. Standout characters besides Superman, of course, I would say is Mr. Terrific. I would say is Metamorpho. I would say is Jimmy Olsen. Good stuff. I'm very glad that there was romance in the movie. That's lacking a lot. Just normal heterosexual romance. Lois Lane and Superman, they had good chemistry. Good stuff. The negatives. I'm gonna be quick with the negatives. Yes, there's negatives. There's stuff I don't like about the movie, but it had more to do with the writing of the movie. Every man in this movie, for some fucking reason, James Gunn had every man crying. Every man cries. Lex Luthor's perfect, except at the end when he gets caught, when he loses, he's shedding a tear, he's crying. That takes away from Lex Luthor. Doesn't do it. The Lex Luthor doesn't cry. Pa Kent, the Kents, the casting, I did not like either of the Kents. Martha Kent was goofy. She was not the Martha Kent from the comic book. She was not. Neither was the father, Jonathan Kent. Jonathan Kent was crying all over the place. He kept crying, and even the Martha Kent referred to him as being this big mush. Why take away from the masculinity of these characters? I do not like. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that to relate to today's idiotic feminist and woke stuff. I'm not saying that the movie was woke. It's actually, if it's woke, if we're gonna label it woke, it was actually woke in a smart way. But those that every man was crying. I think even Superman looked on the burst of crying several times Metamorpho cries. All the guys are fucking crying in this movie. So that's a big dislike. Turning the Superman's Kryptonian parents. This is very controversial. A big change in the lore. Don't do that, James Gunn. You gotta change that back, man. Just, saying that Superman's parents send them to Earth to be an overlord, to overlord the human race, looking down on the human race and thinking of them, referring to them as savages and shit like that. That's against the mythos of Superman. Never have Jor-El and Lara El have been referred to as assholes that sent their son to planet Earth so he could be a king, so he could overrule over them. That aspect of the movie sucked. I disliked it a lot. Krypto, too much Krypto for my taste. Kids loved it. Dog lovers love it. I understand the heartstrings that James Gunn was trying to pull. Success. It actually makes the movie very likable to families. I understand. Smart. My taste, too much Krypto. Even though the special effects with the dog were amazing and he was funny in a lot of places, and it was actually, it's fine. It was actually time to see Krypto in the movies. What else? Yeah. Lois Lane was a little bit heavy-handed at the beginning, but then I liked it. I didn't like that there was no scene where Superman rescues Lois Lane. I mean, I understand this whole feminist movement, but it would have been nice for Lois Lane to get in trouble, for Superman to rescue the love of his life. That's a big fail right there, in my opinion. Are there political aspects in the movie? Are there things that kind of mirror the real world and all that stuff? Yeah, lightly, but it was done in a smart way. It was no big deal. The movie's not woke. It's certainly not Marvel level stuff. Marvel is destroying their MCU with all the feminists, the gender swaps, and what. Superman does not have any of that. It's pretty cool in that aspect that James Gunn was smart enough to not include that in his movie. Sorry about the noise. I'm in a parking lot here. So anyways, guys, that's my big take on the Superman movie. I think it's pretty awesome. You're gonna enjoy it. The bad news, if you love this movie, is that I think Man of Steel is more for me. I like Man of Steel better. I think that Man of Steel, the characters had more elegance, more a little bit more seriousness to them that I appreciate. There was more epicness in that movie, but this movie is no slouch. It's no slouch. I give it a solid number 2 in my place of Superman movies. I think is the more I think about it, the more I have. It's been several days, and I'm liking the movie. I'm liking it, the movie, and I think there's a lot of hates. Do not listen to YouTubers. I understand that I'm making this in YouTube, but do not listen to the usual YouTubers out there. And I'm sorry I have to mention names, but the drinkers, the neurotics, the film threats. I watch them guys. Them guys usually make a lot of points, good points. Ryan Kennels and all of them guys, but they're doing their usual shedding on superhero movies. Superman does not deserve the shedding that they're doing. Do not listen to these people, man. Do not listen. Go see for yourself. Think for yourself. Analyze yourself and rate the movie yourselves. That's my big message to you guys. Thanks for listening, and please subscribe to my channel. Give me likes, dislikes, and sorry if I failed to cover any other stuff. There's so much that I have, so much thinking, so much thought that I have on this movie, but I just don't want to prolong this video that much. I love the movie. Again, I gave it a solid 8 from a scale of 1 to 10. Go see it. Have fun with it. I think it's the best superhero movie that came out this year. Bear none. Bear none. It is the best one. Thank you guys. Peace.